All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. It is good to see you. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Casey McGovern. I work at Nursepreneurs as one of Katie Harris's community specialists and partnership specialists. I have a background in nursing as well, which is the beauty of Nursepreneurs. Many of us do. Today, we are hosting Attaliah Strubel, who some of you may have tuned in the past for some lives that we've done with Attaliah. And if you know her, then you love her because she's amazing. Attaliah is a nurse. I like to call her a nurse turned social media genius. That's what I've been calling you everywhere to everybody, Attaliah. But we're going to talk about email strategy and how to sort of grow and optimize your email list to sort of capitalize on what I think many think is a sort of old, outdated method for marketing, but really anyone in business now knows that it is one of the keys to marketing your business. So with that, I will let Attaliah take over and tell you a little bit about herself and jump in.
Okay, thank you again for having me. I'm excited to talk about email because I feel like it's the thing that's slept on the most because people are so focused on like, oh, I've got to grow on social media, I've got to grow on social media, that they kind of leave email marketing like on the back burner. But the craziest thing is once you have an email system set up, it's very easy to utilize that system to make sales while you sleep. And this is not only for people who are selling things that are digital. This is also if you have appointments available, last minute appointments, and you just send out an email and it's like, hey, I have this last minute appointment. Do you want to go ahead and grab it? Or last minute, I'm doing a special, whatever it is that people are aware and they're like, okay, like this is something I want to do. So I'm excited to dive into this. I first want to get to know you. So I kind of give examples of each of the things and which of these really accurately describes where you are currently when it comes to email marketing. Number one is you're burnt out from creating on Instagram or TikTok and you want to learn how to get in the email game. So like basically you're like, oh my gosh, Natalia, I'm in this masterclass because I'm so tired of trying to catch up creating content and on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, going live, whatever it is that you're doing, and you want something with less energy. The second thing is you've established your online business, but it's like you're talking to a wall when you send emails. So this is for those of you who are sending the emails or you have started email marketing, but you're like, I don't see it doing anything. It's not really working for me. Maybe people aren't answering your email. Maybe people aren't even opening them. Maybe you're getting sent to spam. It could be a multiple different things, but give me a 2 if that's you currently. And then give me a 3 if despite having an email list, you have a good open rate, you're not generating any sales or conversion. So we don't have a business like you don't create an email list just for people to read your emails, right? We all want conversions. You want more sales. You're listening to this because you want another way to create sales or you want to increase your sales. And so give me a 3 if you're feeling like, okay, I have the things, the right things in place, but nothing's really happening, no traction. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into all of this. I don't think on this one, oh, I'm Italia, if you don't know me already. Actually, when I started online on Instagram, if you scroll back 2 years ago, I just looked like a influencer blogger. You didn't really see the marketing business coaching side of me. And it was because I didn't really put that out there. I sold mainly through email. And so I was able to sell the first 2 years of my business. I sold solely through email marketing. And I actually started selling in 2021, I believe. It was 2021 that I started selling on Instagram itself. So I kind of did it, I guess, backwards. I was like really focused on the email aspect. And now my email system is up and running. And I also was using social media at the same time, just not as much for what I do now, which is business coaching. So, when today you're going to be learning one, growing your email list, how to decide which freebie is for your community. I know a lot of you kind of are like, how do people get on the email list? How do I really connect with different people, right? Like, how do I really get to people out there in the world, right? How are people going to sign up? One thing I do want to be straightforward with is just because you have an email list, someone's not just going to sign up. We all want something from you. So we want it to be something juicy. So we're going to go over the different things that you can have for that. Number two is email first impression. I think the most important thing is to create a welcome sequence that generates sales. And so we're going to go right off the top and I'm going to go through how you can do that and kind of go through the steps of creating that welcome sequence. And the reason that I really harp on welcome sequences is because this is your first impression, right? This is how people are getting to know you and your business. And a lot of people approach this step as, oh, I'm just going to come in and, like give them information. I'm still going to give them information. It's like, no, like, giving information is great, but some people, the first email, they want to buy from you. Like once they get your freebie, they want to be like, oh my God, like how do I buy from her? So making sure that you have those options available. And then the third thing is creating an email fan base, effectively segmenting your email list and tailoring your message. And if you're somebody that answered to, it's most likely because you are sending out mass emails to the incorrect person. And you want to make sure you're segmenting your list so you understand where people are coming from. And what I mean by segmenting is when, like, let's say you do an event and you have everyone sign a sheet of paper to sign up and they have their email, then once you do that event, you want to create a list for that event so that you know where everyone is coming from. So as you're sharing things, right? So if somebody came to a, I don't know, like aesthetic event or IV hydration event, and then from there, they were like, oh, okay, you decide to have an event, then those are going to be the people that you want to send your email list to, right? You're not going to want to send your email list to someone who signed up and they were at a nurse conference or something and they want to connect with you on a business level. So just thinking about who you're sending your email to and how to tailor that message. So I do want to know what it is that you do online or in your business. Let me know in the chat. And then we're going to go through some email basics because I know a couple of you haven't really dove into emails. So getting your personalized email address. This is something so simple, but this makes you feel more business like, right? It's like you have these people. I mean, I have had clients like they have like cutie pie 108 and I'm like at Gmail, I'm like, girl, like this is not professional, right? But when you see something like hello at my name, one, you're automatically going to take me seriously. Once I come in your inbox, you're going to be like, oh, like who is this girl? Like she has her own domain, right? You think to yourself as a business owner, business to business, if I'm pitching another business and I'm like, hey, I really want to partner with you, but my email is directly like if it's written out like this, then people are going to be like, oh, okay, like she's working on her business, right? And this is something you can literally do through Google and create that email personalized address. And it's just a way to show your professionalism. And as it shows up in your inbox, it isn't like whatever at gmail.com.
Makes a huge difference.
Yes, it does make a huge difference. Just like how you get presented. Okay. Choosing an email platform. So when it comes to different there's so many options. And what I always recommend people to do is write down your needs before you go searching online. And because of the greatness of AI, you could literally think of all of the things you need in an email marketing platform and then write those all down and say like, hey, ChatGPT, I need this, this, and this. Which email platforms would be best for me? And then they'll go through and let you know which ones would be best for you. I personally, when starting out, I did Flowdesk, which was $19 a month. You can use my code there. It's Attaliah Strubel. In Flowdesk, the reason I like it is because it's easy to use and there's email templates. Literally everything has a template and you just kind of go through the template, fill out your wording in it, and it's really great, easy, user friendly, and very aesthetic. Is when I first started using it. Oh my God, this is so aesthetic. And put in my pictures and make it all beautiful.
And don't underestimate that because even like it brought you joy using it, so you wanted to use it. And I know
Yeah,
that sounds silly, but in your business, like what you're doing it should feel like that. It should feel like happy and pretty, and you know what I mean? Because it
yeah.
makes you want to do the things you need to do for your business. So
It's like, oh my gosh, like because I love being here, right?
yeah.
Um, it even has the capability to create freebies and sell products now. They've gotten really advanced from before. And then I think I had the other ones are ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, MailerLite, MailChimp. I currently use ActiveCampaign. If you're looking for something more, I guess, diagnostic and you need a lot of those nitty gritty details, then that's a good platform. The reason that I suggest something as Flowdesk is because it's like beginners. It gives you the base analytics. Like you don't need to go like, for example, an ActiveCampaign, like I can literally go to a specific email, go to a specific person, and then see how many times that specific person opened my email, right? So then when I'm thinking about selling something or selling something again, then I'm going to go through and resend it to those specific people and continue to target them. Because a good example of this is maybe some of you are currently following this Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing, right? I'm not a Swiftie, and I knew about Taylor Swift, not knew about Travis Kelce before Taylor Swift, but it's just like you see it all the time that you're just kind of like, oh, okay, let me just watch this video. Like you see it over and over and over, and you're just like, oh, let me just watch this. So that's why those numbers are important, because you're able to retarget people and have people re-see your content. So thinking about it more as like how you would use like Facebook ads or something, is you're able to target them over and over through your email marketing. But if you don't have those numbers, it's not something that's like, something that's going to make or break your business. That's just something in the future as your business grows, you'll want to move to a platform. And I think Flowdesk is working on more analytics, with more analytics, something that's going to be more specific for you. Um,
Just
any questions on that, Casey? Sorry.
yeah, I just have a quick question about it that I think probably other people wonder is, as a new business owner who's starting out, obviously your budget may be different as well, and those all have different sort of budget levels. How easy or hard is it to transition your email list to a new email software or whatever?
Platform. So I actually paid someone $200 to do it for me. Um, and
That
so that's
sounds
an
like money
option.
well worth
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Right. But what you can do, so when you're switching from platform to platform, I think it's more about like, for example, if you're just going to have like 2 welcome sequences, right? Then it's going to be super simple. When I switched, I think I had like 10 different free offers. And so that meant that I had a minimum of 10 welcome sequences that didn't include like my programs, all of those things. And so I wanted all of that text to be transferred into that new platform. So as you're growing, you'll have more emails, but thinking about, I think most of you with the type of businesses you have, you're not going to have as many intricate pieces to where it's like, oh my gosh, like now I've got all of this stuff. It ended up taking, I think, a month, like 1 month for everything to get moved over and be in place for me to start on the new platform. But that's definitely something that you can like outsource to someone on Fiverr. I actually know a good virtual assistant too. A couple of virtual assistants. If you're looking for somebody to help you like set this up, even if you're looking for somebody to like do the whole email process for you, if you're somebody that's like, okay, I'm overwhelmed, I want to do this in my business, and I always say to myself, like, you either have time or you have money, right? And so if you have time, then it's like, okay, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna learn how to do this, I'm gonna do it myself. But if you don't have time, like we also have done for you services for email, so we can do it for you. So it's just something to think about, what really works for you. But at the end of the day, as far as budget goes, I would say to go, if your like budget is like currently zero, but you want to start getting that email list going. I believe with ConvertKit, you can have up to 500 or 1,000 subscribers, and it's free. So like you can sign up for the platform and you can have like 500 subscribers or something and it's free. Obviously, there's going to be limitations to that. I don't know what the limitations are, but that's something to take a look at.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's talk about like free offer, lead magnet, like what to kind of give so that people want to sign up. Whatever it is that you're giving, so a lead magnet is what people are you're going to be saying to sign up for my email list because at the end of the day, just having I remember like starting out as blogging and I would be like subscribe to my list. And then, like you've probably seen it, subscribe to my list and it's like why would I
Yeah.
subscribe? Like,
It's still out there, tons of people. It's just like subscribe. And I mean, your friends and family might do it that way. But
yes.
the average sort of consumer isn't just going to be like, sure.
Yeah, they're going to be like, "What? Why am I signing up? What am I getting when I sign up?" And people also are scared of like spam emails and like, like sometimes people are very protective of their email lists and what they get in their inbox. I mean, it is personal because it comes directly to them. So, just something to think about with your lead magnet and this can literally be anything. So, a printable discount on your products and services, a step-by-step how-to. This could be something that you're frequently asked. Like for example, it's like how to lift your face, like where to put the Botox. Like you could give a free offer like that. And I think we talked about it on the last chat. Was when people see that they're like, oh my God, well I'm giving away all of my trade secrets. But it's like, no, you're showing people that you know what you're doing. And then people are going to be like, oh, okay, like I'm educated, right? You're allowing people to get educated so that they can make an educated decision to know like, oh my God, she's the best person for me because she actually teaches me about the stuff. She doesn't just show me before and afters. She goes through and teaches me the mechanics behind that and how it works. So like thinking about just different out of the box ways that you can kind of give discounts or creating printables or step-by-step or worksheets.
Yeah.
One of my current favorite things is like to do like broadcast, Instagram has the broadcast on there. That's an easy way to kind of funnel people into your email list, is to get people in the broadcast and then say like, oh, I have this free worksheet or whatever, and then kind of go in a little detail about what it's about. And then two, you can do something like as an email course, like maybe getting started. Like if you're teaching somebody to do aesthetics or you're teaching to do anything, then you could do like a 3 to 5 day course where they have like the beginnings to start something. And then that would lead to whatever it is that you're offering them. So
And
these are the ones. Go ahead.
sorry, I just wanted to, and for clarity, that means like you get them to sign up with their email address for your course, and then you drip out a little bit of content via email for them over 3 to 5 days. That's sort of easy stuff for you to give them, and then you upsell on the back end.
Yes. So all of these, you're getting them to sign up with your email list. The only one that's like, even when you do the broadcast and you put your link, you're going to put your link to whatever the opt-in form is for your free offer.
Right.
Okay, so those are the ones that are more like hands-offy. You create it one time and then it's done. It's out there in the world, good to go. All you have to do is continue to market it. Which I mean, marketing a free offer is still as much work as marketing a paid offer. So
Right.
just thinking like it's still marketing. But when you go into the things that take more time is like, monthly Amazon finds where you're doing something like monthly, or you're doing a live training, you're doing a free challenge, you have a Facebook group, you've got to keep up with those different things. I know in the past for marketing, Facebook groups was huge. Now it's a little bit dwindled. I feel like people are a little Facebook grouped out
Yeah.
because there's so many of them. And then two, like master classes, I feel like come and go, right? But people, they're still working as far as like, I guess conversion. So like doing a master class of some sort. And as even if I like the out of the box thinking in marketing, and most people see master classes and they're like, oh, this is for course creators or this is for coaches. But as a brick and mortar, or if you're like a traveling person or you do IV hydration, you can still host like a class in that way and show people like how the steps go, or like what reasons they would have, IV hydration, or what reasons they would need aesthetics, or what reasons they would need you to take care of their parent. And it's more of an education. And so then when someone comes to that class, right, they're more likely to be like, oh my God, I went to this class and I learned X, Y, and Z, and then send it to somebody else. So don't think that when you see people in like I guess the coaching world, that you can't replicate that in what you're doing in business. You can definitely replicate it and make it your own. So that's all of the thing. I mean, there's always 100 different ways that you can do stuff, but these are the basic main things that you can offer as a lead magnet. And then deciding which is for you, right? So you have all of these options. You're like, okay, like which one is for me? The best thing is to research your target audience and understand what their needs and desires are. And the way to do that is to ask people, one, that have already paid you, or two, that are following you on social media. So you'll ask them specific questions so that you can kind of get to know. And sometimes people like to do like the workaround where they're like, oh, I don't really want to talk about exactly what it is. But no, just be straight up and be like, if I were to teach you something, what would you want to learn? Then people are going to tell you straight up,
Mhm.
oh, I would really want to learn this, or I'd like to know more information on this. And then that allows you to, one, connect with them in that way. And then two, that allows you to be like, okay, I can take that information and create a free offer from that.
While we just have one moment, I just wanted to address a question in there. Is that okay, Atalia?
Oh yeah, of course.
It's just, so somebody asked about NOLA, which is the Nursepreneurs Customer Relationship Manager platform, and said, should I utilize my Gmail work email if that'll never change for customer emails, or use whatever email is connected through NOLA? And I would just say, I can't see who you are. It's just calling you Facebook user. But if you have NOLA, then you should also be in our impact community. And tomorrow at 3 p.m., so Wednesday at 3 p.m., Katie will be doing a live in there. So Katie would be a good person to direct that question to tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. So, and again, I apologize, I can't see who you are, but if you have NOLA, then you should also be in our impact community and be able to go to that live. Okay, let me know if you have more questions in the chat about that.
All right. So when thinking about deciding, right? So I talked about using surveys, polls, social media to gather feedback. Even in person, you can ask people like, oh, like past clients, like, hey, saw that you were here in 2023 and I wanted to do a quick survey. And this is something I love to do, is survey. I survey all the time. I'm like, people always get surveyed because I just want to know what's going like on in my community. And so I kind of survey and just ask, like, I know I sent one for my email too, and just like ask them like what type of emails are they going to want to open in 2024, kind of getting an understanding of like what things do they want to know more of. Okay, so what this looks like on social. So when you're thinking about the T, so if you're like somebody that's like, oh my gosh, like I don't know officially what it is, but I know I want to go this direction. I just want to test the waters. So I had these hooks, like I did like 122 hooks, and I talked about like, these hooks are just coming to me. We're about 50 in, and then I asked, would you want a list of hooks to help you with your content creation process? And then the two options were send me a copy or hooks for what. And so really going through and just throwing it out there and seeing how people react to it. If they're like, oh my God, like this is something I'm very interested in. And like in this poll, obviously people are really interested in it. And also I put hooks for what, so that the people who had answered that meant that my community wasn't educated on why hooks were important. So that gave me two aspects of things that I could do in order to have that impact. So they already began to associate me with the skill of creating hooks, because I'm saying like, okay, I'm already 50 in, like this is what I'm doing. And then it helps you identify your pain points and what other services products you could help them with. And so just I like to use the spoiler alert. That's the one that's up here. Spoiler alert all the time. And it has a little thing that says spoiler alert, and you can put a graphic behind it. It's super easy. And then the ask. So straight up just asking what they're struggling with. So in this one, I'm talking about the profitable creator, and I'm going into and talking about how they'll be getting a rough draft and testing the new hooks. I started highlighting and editing, but after 62, I decided to move on. As they test them out, I'll figure out how I'll be sharing. So basically, one, I'm showcasing that the people that are already in my community already get access to this. So if somebody's thinking about, oh my God, maybe I'll hop into this program and this is something that they're interested in, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I definitely should get in because I want this access to this too. And then I go in and I say, curious, what's the hardest part for you of content creating? So now I'm directly asking them what is really their pain point when it comes to that. And I listed the 4 things, and then they can vote on them. And then it kind of gives me like what it is. And most of the people said their issue was creating hooks. So I can take that information. I could do a masterclass on creating hooks, or I could do a PDF on how to 5 steps to create a great hook. And I could go 100 million different ways, but I've identified not only one way, but a second way that I know that this is something that they're wanting. So you're getting feedback, the direct feedback, and then the brag. So for the people who are just like watching, we all know we've got those people. And I do want it to be clear, like if you have people that are like constantly watching your stories and you're like, oh my God, they're always watching, but they're never buying, like just because they're lurking does not mean they're not going to buy. And just because somebody is not following you or engaging in your content doesn't mean they won't be a client of yours. Like a lot of my one-on-one clients don't even follow me on Instagram. So just thinking, yes, like it's like just thinking about the fact that a lot of them just don't follow me. Some of them just found me on, my blog, or they found me on Instagram. And then, we started working together. And then it was like, okay, I don't need to follow her content because I have access to her. So just something to keep in mind when it comes to that. And so then I go into like time to record, how to stop myself at 123 hooks. We'll link later. So I just go into and talk about, okay, now this is obviously at this point, it's complete product. I know I'm going to put it out there. I just want to see like, okay, how is everything going? Making sure that people are still interested in it. And then it's building authority and trust within my circle, because now not only am I saying like, oh, I wrote out these hooks, but now I'm utilizing the hooks myself. And I think a lot of the times people don't showcase themselves, utilizing their techniques or utilizing their products and services, or, doing their own stuff. They kind of see it as like, okay, that's just maintenance for them. Like if you're somebody who has, I don't know, like you have a friend and both of you do aesthetics and you go to her, like this is something that's an opportunity to showcase that you also, get things done to you, right? And it's like something that someone's like, oh my God, like she goes and does this, or, describing what you're getting done. Just thinking about that from that aspect. So then another thing is you want to test these different freebies out. So as you're creating free offers, and this even means those things where you're giving out 20%, right? You have a link, you have a code, let's say, where if you put in code, I always tell my clients to put a different code. Like if you're going to do social media codes, right? Where you're like, oh, use TikTok for 20% off. Like you want it to be different so that you know exactly where your clients are coming from, right? You don't want all of your codes to be the same. And if you can help it sometimes with certain links, like when I'm on a podcast per se, I have a specific page that has my freebie links. And so when someone opts into that, I know that's like, that one is my podcast freebie. So I know that me getting on podcasts makes sense. So thinking about how you can kind of create that. I'm not saying make tens and thousands of work for yourself, especially in the beginning, but you want to track where people are coming from and the reasons that people are joining. So if you have something where you're like, okay, I'm going to do the class, and then I also want to make the class like a quick ebook for those people who don't want to join, then see which one of those works. And don't think that because you have a class that has one type of information that you can't create something that's like a template with the same type of information, because everyone consumes differently, everyone learns differently, there's different learning styles. And so just thinking about the different ways that you can accommodate and resonate with your audience. Okay.
Attaliah, just as sort of a little aside, and I think the person asking this, we could probably do an entire presentation on the question you just asked about organizing your time. But I'm just curious to tell you what your like knee-jerk sort of response to that would be. Like, how much time do I spend on social media marketing daily? I find I spend hours figuring out how to make, edit, execute my media, and then I don't have enough time to get other things done.
So I always suggest in the beginning to have A and B days. So when I'm in a season of having like a bunch of things going on, like, so the last 2 months, I've been kind of like slow down. And when I'm in a place of like, oh my gosh, like I've got my blog, I've got my podcast, I've got my IG, I've got to, get my email marketing going. One, I like to make a schedule for everything. And if you have time, do a time audit and see how much time. So when you say you're spending a lot of time on social media and marketing daily, like how much of that time is spent one scrolling to research, and then how much of that time is spent actually posting or creating content for your socials. So thinking of like being very intentional with how you spend your time. And when it comes to the A and B days, when I think about like my A days back, I guess last year, mid-year, I would do things like I had coaching that I had signed up. So I would do A day would be, I would do an hour of coaching, and then I had 3 things that were non-negotiables for me. So my non-negotiables are money-making activities. And so that is making sure that I post on my Instagram stories every single day, Monday through Friday. I post on there. And then the second thing is making sure that I'm checking my emails daily, because I do work with brands and I have different clients that come through email. So that is another task that I do daily. And then the third thing is 3 times a week, I go through and kind of think to myself, like, okay, this is what I need to post. And I make sure to post at least 3 to 5 times a week. And what I would do if you're feeling kind of, it seems more like you're just trying to get everything organized, it's okay to step back to move forward, right? So kind of thinking about like, what is your strategy from then on? So like, as you add different things, so when I added my podcast to the mix, I had to add specific days, right? So it was like, okay, now on Wednesdays and Thursdays are the days where I'm going to be doing podcast interviews. I literally recorded my podcast all the way till August of this year for that reason, because I was just like, I just need 2 good months for me to like sit down. It's going to be exhausting, having 6 interviews a week, but I did it. Did my 6 interviews a week. I did it for 2 months. And then now I'm able to slow down. And starting in March is when I'll start doing interviews again. So what the long end of that was a
Yes.
long-winded answer, but the long end of that is getting organized and really thinking about like how much time are you really spending doing stuff? And 2, how can you get really focused on things that are actually making you money and things that you're just doing to do because you think that's an expectation of yours.
That was an amazing answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
I kept some notes along as you were talking. So.
Okay, perfect. And then I see this question on how do you set up a poll on IG? So to set up a poll on IG, if you just go to Instagram, you go on Instagram, and then I might have a video on this. If I don't, I'll send you one, Casey. But you're going to press plus, you're going to go to your stories. Then you're going to click on like a photo, or if you take a photo, you can also take a photo. And then what you'll do is you'll click on the little smiley face. So there's the profile picture face, and then the letter, like the lettering, and then there's a little smiley face. And then in the smiley face, there's actually an option for poll. And so then you'll be able to use the poll from there.
Perfect. I kind of put that in there, but yeah, I went to your website briefly just to see if I could find anything that you
Yes.
had on that.
Okay, perfect. Yes, I think I probably just have it in a profile. It's probably on my Pinterest. I had a phase of tutorials. It was a great one. Okay, this is practical and super helpful. Yay, I'm so glad. I'm growing quickly and have no help on things over my head, virtual stuff. Best way to hire affordable help. I can't thank you enough. Okay, I'm going to answer this, then I'll get back. Oh, my website.
I got it. Are you putting it in, Attaliah?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh my God, we should do like a marketing Q&A. Love this.
We should just do a whole hour of Q&A a different day.
Yes. Okay. Oh, I guess it didn't post. You can post it. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Okay, so when you're thinking about hiring, can you tell me about what your budget is to hire? If that's not, well, you're Facebook user, so it's not really personal. Let me know what your budget is, because I think a lot of the times people think to themselves like they can't get help because they don't have enough, or they're like, oh, I don't have enough money, or I don't have this. But when you sit down and go through the stuff that you actually need help with, it might not take that many hours. So at the very beginning, when I ended up hiring my virtual assistant, I think she worked 10 hours a month. And that 10 hours was like life-saving. Like it was literally, she did like all my affiliate linking, and then she did a couple of things on social media and just like things here and there. But it was so helpful to kind of just get those things. But a lot of the times it goes back to what are you spending your time on, and thinking about like what actually needs you in it and what you can kind of delegate to somebody else. Okay, if your budget is $400 a month, you can definitely hire someone.
Yeah,
You can definitely hire someone.
Like a VA off of.
Yes. Yeah, 10 to 20 hours, and I have a list that needs to be done. Yeah, that's definitely perfect. If you're looking for someone for recommendation, just send me a DM on Instagram, and I can send you a potential someone to help you with that. Okay. So if you're somebody that has been following me on Instagram and you're like, okay, you're talking about these freebies, but I never see this on your stories. When it comes to like going through and being like, oh my God, like this is the tea. I don't do that a lot anymore because a lot of my leads come through my website. So I have a pop-up on my website, and a pop-up, literally everyone needs a pop-up to whatever their free offer is. I probably get maybe 20 to 35 leads a day through my website pop up. So like that's people that are coming through and signing up for either this free offer, but also this last, I'm like, when was it? In August, we set up different pop-ups for the different pages that different people were coming to. So if they're coming to a page about, like this one's more about UGC and influencer platforms. If they're coming to a page about digital marketing and business, then they're going to get a pop-up about my email platform opt-in. So they're going to get different pop-ups for different things. And when that happens, right, you get all of these people coming to your website, and that happens. And if you're somebody that's working on your website traffic, then it's more of like the blogging aspect and the SEO that really helps you get those people there. So if you're currently, like if your website is just your website, there's not much like blog aspect of it, then you want to work on the SEO of your page itself. But I would definitely utilize the strategy that we talked about before then, and talking about your free offer all the time on social media, and utilizing that. So, as I said, this is 60 subscribers. I've been able through like pop up also affiliate income. So, right under like my website banner, I also have my affiliate links there. So, that's able for me to earn affiliate income through there. And then I also get tripwire sales. So, when I talk about tripwires, this is when people just kind of instantaneously like purchase from you once they have that free offer. And so this is something that pops up after somebody signs up. So this is for pitch templates. So I have a free offer on how to a hotel pitch. So they sign up for the hotel pitch and they're like, oh, like I want this free offer. And then a thing pops up and it basically, and I think I walk you through exactly what it looks like. So I'm just gonna walk you through that in just a moment. Um, so if you don't have a fancy website, let's get into the nitty gritty of what you can do. I'm not saying go get a website today. Utilize the free stuff as you're growing
Yes.
your business. Utilize what is free to you. When it is free to you, it may take more time, more effort. It may not be something that's just like, oh, like, I just get, and I don't want it to come off too like, oh, I don't have to do this anymore because I have a website and I just do this on my website. I blog on my website. I do a lot of work on my website. So there's still work to be done, whichever way you go. But you want to be your own pop up on social media. So as you're going through like whatever stories, whatever you're talking about, just pop in and click in your free offer, right? Like going through one of the highest downloaded freebies I have is 20 real tips. And so it's like that because I go through and I would talk about it literally every 2 to 3 slides and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. Like, what are people going to get from it? I would literally talk about this free resource like it's a paid course. And the reason for that is because I know on the back end, this going through this free offer is leading to my course, right? So if I do this type of work and more people are likely to sign up for something free, and be like, oh, like, let me test out this free thing and see. So there's just a couple of ways that I kind of talk about it, like talk about reviews, tell people like one thing I love to do is when I send out an email to my subscribers, I'll like either screenshot the email and like put the spoiler alert or just showcase that I emailed them and be like, oh, email came through so that there's been people who like message me from that and are like, oh my God, how do I get on this list? I see that you send out emails. I'm so excited, and so just going through and kind of thinking about the different things, and people really get FOMO, like massive FOMO. So don't think because you're not selling something or you're not directly talking about it, like talk about what you're doing. There's so many things, like you're coming to this class right now and you're learning about email, right? Like this is something you can literally screenshot and be like learning more about email marketing, email list coming soon, or revamping my email. Can't wait, right? So it also shows people like, oh my God, she's like working, on her stuff. She has this going on. So just thinking about how you can input that into the daily things that you're doing online. So now that we know how to research your market, what type of lead magnet, how we can gain more subscribers is just really being consistent with saying, we want to go through your first impression, AKA your welcome sequence. So what this is going to look like behind the scenes is firstly, your ideal client is going to click sign up for your freebie, right? So whether that be on your website or that be in your Instagram stories, wherever you're posting on Facebook, people love things. So don't forget Facebook and posting on there. Then what I like to do is a tripwire comes up and it's your freebie is download is on its way, but wait, I've got a special offer for you. And that's when I offer them $7 product. The point of this is one, to let people know like this is a business, right? It's like the awareness, like I sell things. And I also like to be upfront because I don't sell all the time, but I sell often in a way that's more empowering. And so I just kind of already set the stage, like, you can sign up for this and then Obviously, they can just click out of it and that's done, or they can opt into that and they'll go into another like welcome sequence for the pitch template. And then I am going to give you the sales page formula for the tripwire. I know some of you, everyone needs a pop-up. Hold on. Okay. I know some of you, I'm like, okay, yeah, this still pertains to everybody. Okay, so making sure that they didn't reach a random page. So at the beginning, I'm saying your free download is on its way, but wait, I've got a special offer for you. And then from there, I have some sort of picture, mock-up. There's so many different templates on Canva that have mock-ups. Just look up mock-up and it'll be there. And then you want to talk about your amazing product. And then from there, you want to clarify that the offer expires. So just really being clear, like don't miss the special one-time offer. And then I go through and list what is included in the offer. And this is the point that I think a lot of people miss in all of their sales pages, but specifically their Tripwire page is painting the picture of what it will look like when they purchase your low ticket product. Like, where are they now and what is it going to look like when they purchase? And when you think about a Tripwire too, another thing you can do that's out of the box is you could offer somebody a special discount like after getting your free offer. Like that can be where you put in 20% off. And you can say like, or you can do 50% off or whatever it is that you want to do. And you can put that there just to see. And I always like to test things just to see like, are people going to purchase more often from this or what's going to happen?
Right.
And then
sorry, Attaliah, are you saying they would get a special discount on the low ticket offer, or that they would get a special discount on some subsequent high ticket offer?
On some subsequent high ticket offers. So like that's another option that you can do is like give them a discount on another offer. Or if you currently, like let's say you decide to do like a special at your salon, then once they download that, you could take them to that page where it offers the special so that they're aware. So this page, like this quote unquote tripwire, doesn't necessarily have to be like, I guess, a separate, page. It just literally, you just put whatever link in your email. Once it says like the thank you page, you just put that link in there. So it's something that you can change pretty often. So if you're somebody that has certain deals that are happening, maybe you do like a quarterly something, then you just copy and paste so they direct to that website instead of just exiting, right? So you're already leading them to some sort of sale. You can like lead them to your offers page or lead them to your services page.
Right. Don't lose them if they're already engaged with you. So keep them engaging.
Keep them engaged. Okay. And you can add testimonials to the bottom, but this tripwire page does not have testimonials at the bottom. I think it didn't before. Now it does. But and then if you screenshot, take a picture, tag me on Instagram, I will actually send you a template for the welcome email sequence. The template that I use and my clients use. And my templates aren't like, they're plug and play, but you sound like yourself. I don't like the templates where you sound like someone totally different. It's more of like, I'm like, insert your story, like tell this, like, and I kind of specifically just walk you through. So more prompt-like template rather than it be like, oh, here's this. And then now you sound like Attaliah, because people don't want to buy from Attaliah, right? They want to buy from you.
That's so huge.
Yes.
Everyone that I buy from, who I get emails from, I actually, most of the emails I sign up for because I just think their emails are so funny, and I like them, and not even because I'm interested in what they're selling necessarily. And then I eventually end up buying what they are selling anyway.
Yeah.
Because I like them and their voice. Yeah.
You like interact with them and you're like, okay, I get this. So building out your welcome sequence is really when you start to get certain emails back, right? So like you get emails, most of my emails, like if I send out an email, I'm likely going to get 2 to 3 emails back from one email. And it's because of the power of, building that welcome sequence that actually makes that impact. So you want to plan your sequence strategically. So don't like hype somebody up about hooks and then they sign up for the hooks thing and then your free offer and then now your paid offer has nothing to do with hooks, right? You want it to all flow together. So the flow of it is so important. So aligning the research for the free offer with the paid offer. And then your sequence is going to include education. So teaching an additional component to what they downloaded, like maybe giving them myths, those kinds of things. You want to go into storytelling, like just as Casey said, right? She's opening emails because she enjoys that person. So like tell us a story, like talk about the things that you've been about. And don't think because you have to have this certain professionalism, like people want to just know you as a person and that's who they're going to buy from. So tell us about this. Like if you're somebody that curses and, like you're somebody that curses, then curse in your emails, right? Like that's who you are because it's going to be a shocker for them when they show up to an appointment with you and then you're like cursing and they're like, oh, like she's really like different, in person. So think about like how you act in person should be how you're acting online.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then promotional. So selling your offers, don't be afraid to offer something. And when I think about, because a lot of my clients come to me and they're just like, oh my God, well, I don't want to be salesy. I'm scared to sell. But remember that you're like the money thing is just an exchange of something, right? It's just energy. Like the money is just energy. And so when you think about like selling what you're actually providing them with something. So when someone buys from you, they're getting provided for. So if you think of it about it from that aspect, where it's like, because whatever you're providing for them has a purpose. And when you have a purpose and you have like curriculum or you have like a method or you have something that brings value to someone, then it's not sleazy ever. So making sure from the very start that you are selling your offers.
Right. And I just want to just harp on that for a second because I think a lot of us have that snag. I mean, everybody does. That's just mindset stuff. It's imposter syndrome. It's all the things. But the other thing to remember, and every business person ever will tell you this, is that people value what they pay for. And so sometimes when you don't actually offer your offer at the appropriate monetary value, you've actually, in a way, if you can turn it this way, you've decreased the likelihood that person will ever benefit from what you gave them, because people, if they don't pay a lot for something or if they don't pay what it's truly worth, they might not even ever utilize your offer. They might even give you the money and not even use it. You really need to realize that people value what they pay for. It is what it is. It's the human psyche, and you want them to get something useful or life-changing or impactful from what it is you're offering. So for better or for worse, people need to pay for it. And that's why you have a business, and that's why you're watching this. So
yes. I always say that. Like I had this client that was like, oh, I'm gonna sell this course and I'm gonna sell it for like $27. And then she was like, but like at this time I'm unable to like afford your services. And I was like, you can't afford my services because you're charging yourself so low. If you charge yourself the worth of your course, then you wouldn't have a problem paying for my services. But you have to have like money mindset is huge. And that's a whole other topic. It's so huge because it's like once you realize that this is what you need, like you're just like, okay, I'm going for it, right? This is what I need to get. This is what I need to get to point B. But then when it comes to like teaching somebody else or offering something, then you're like, oh, maybe I should start at a discount. Maybe I should, but you shouldn't. Like you should definitely
charge what you're worth.
Yes. Charge what you're worth. Okay. I'm going to answer the questions here in a moment. I'm almost done. Okay. You want to make sure to segment your list. And we talked a little bit about this before, is going through and saying where people are coming from or what offer it is. That makes it very clear. So you're sending the email to the correct person. So thinking about how do you know if this is like, okay, Atalia, I'm doing all this stuff. How do I know if it works? Firstly, you want to do this for 90 days. 90 days minimum. I want you to send consistent emails, and we'll talk about sending emails here in a moment and checking your numbers. So not just talking about income, but the number of people that are clicking, coming to your email community, responding to your emails, the number of people that are clicking on your Instagram. You want to take a look at those numbers because those numbers impact your business. A lot of the times people just go through and they're like posting stuff and they're like, oh, well, I'll just post this. Oh, and it didn't work. I only got 200 views. It didn't work. And it's like, okay, but you got 200 views, but you had 2 people in DM you to ask you about your services. So it did work, right? So it's like, you've got to think to yourself, like, what is important? Why are you putting that content out there? Or what are you sending your email? And what do you want the response to be? So, when you're talking about selling to your email list, I put this like picture here because I want people to open my emails and feel cozy. Like I want them to like cozy up, like they're talking to their bestie about business for the day, and it's like they have their coffee, they have their stuff. So I like that's the vibe of my email list. I want you to like feel cozy, feel good. And so when you're thinking about your subject line, you want to keep it short and simple. Like when you have a long, like think about how you look on your email. You literally like scroll through like this. And if there's nothing that really stands out, sometimes you're just like, okay, delete. And you're just like going through and deleting all your emails because a lot of the times you get inundated with emails, especially during Black Friday and all of those holidays. Wow, it's crazy. And you want to use your brand voice, right? You want it to be very evident that it's you, and personalizing with the first name. So putting a name in there has shown to actually increase the number of times that people open the email because they feel like they're being called out to open the email. And then avoiding too many exclamation points because that is going to put you in spam. And then save the emails that get you click get them to click the oh my god get them to click open the email. Why can't I speak now? Okay.
It's okay.
Whoa.
It's the afternoon. Well,
Yeah,
maybe not for you, but
it's like late. I don't
that
know.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the ones that people are clicking a lot, save it so that you can kind of utilize those subject lines when it's feeling dry out there. Here's a couple of subject lines. You can screenshot this. And so I kind of go through storytelling. So, how I quit my job 1 year after starting my blog. So, that's like people know they're going to get a story. The second one is making them curious. I have something on my heart. And this all says RE. This isn't like some strategy. It's just when I screenshotted them, it was when the replies because people were, I chose the emails that people replied to me. So you don't need to put RE in front of you, all of your emails, just to let you know. And then feel like no one's listening, question mark. This is relatable. Like somebody who feels like no one's listening is going to be like, yep, that's me. Let me see what's happening there. Right. And then I do a post sales email sequence because when I am doing large launches, I'm like, wow, that was a lot. Like, thank you for sticking with me. And I kind of have that conversation about sales and how, like, if I didn't sell, then other people wouldn't benefit, like all of this stuff. But kind of saying for those people that opened emails or stuck around during that time, like, I'm grateful to have you. Because at the end of the day, it is definitely like community. And then calling out who the email is, thinking about getting a website. So you're talking directly, so if somebody is getting like a treatment, thinking about getting Botox, like then somebody's going to open that email. And then what they will learn by opening. So this is just more of like 3 TikTok ideas that will increase your reach this week. So people can kind of connect with you on that level. So, oh yeah, this is where I talk about that. The RE was the subject line. And then when you're thinking about your email in general, I'm just going to go through this quickly, is you want branding to be included because you want your emails to be recognizable. And this goes back to like that Travis and Taylor situation, is because we're seeing it all the time. It's like, okay, we're seeing it all the time. Like now we're more intrigued. So if somebody sees your logo all the time, they're beginning to associate that with you. This is the same as using the same graphic that you have on your opt-in form in your first email. So people already connect with you in that way. So just thinking about how you can kind of brand, right? And I'm an emoji. No, not emoji. I'm a GIF. Jiffy. I don't know. That kind of
It's always
girl.
a mystery. I talk about it all the time. Is it Jif,
Yes.
Jiffy, GIF? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. But I'm that girl. And so I put those in all of my emails. And I also utilize the first name. And then in the middle of your email, this is where you want to keep the engagement conversation going. So I always have somewhere in my email, like reply to this email, or just have like that conversation so people know like what's going on. And then this was actually an invite to my Instagram live. So for those people who are going live, this would be a great strategy to like do different emails. So you send like, oh my God, I'm going to go live, and let them know. And then painting the reality. So once you go from there, right, it's like you're talking, you're keeping the conversation going, like reply to my email. Then you're going into like, oh, next Thursday, did you catch my live? So I always like to plug in something from social media because I want people to see me on social media. And, that's where I'm selling a lot more. I mean, on email, I'm selling, but it's different when people see you face to face. And then I go through a painting the reality, and then also giving the quick win, which I'll go through in each of my emails, giving some type of strategy tips, giving them something that when they're opening their email, they're getting something. Like, I always hate those emails. You open it up, you spend like 5 minutes reading it, and you're just like, why did I open this? Like, because the whole email is like, oh, and I did this, and I did that, and I did that. And I was like, okay, like, thanks, girl. So just thinking about like how you can really connect and include your reader. Remember, like email is still a two-way conversation. It's not a rant box. It's a way for you to connect, and just thinking about what your ideal client wants to hear in that moment. And then I always end my email either at the beginning or the end with the sale. And at sometimes, and this is a longer email, I do not expect anyone to write these types of emails each and every time. But I chose a longer one just to kind of include the different things that I like to include in my emails. Okay, so these are quick, just frequently asked questions. How often to send emails? Industry standard is 2 to 8 emails per month, bi-weekly, once or twice a week. I send emails once a week, depending if I'm selling or not. Sometimes it's 2 to 3 times a week, depending if I'm having a launch. All depends on your time that you have. Remember your schedule. I always pre-write my emails. So I pre-write my emails for February and January because I've already planned what I'm doing then. And then I send those off to my team. They schedule them all, and it's all done. What is the best day to send emails? I would test yourself, but Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday have been said to be the best to send emails. I wouldn't do Mondays. Sometimes I do like a Saturday email, or I do a Saturday email or a Friday. Like I'll do this can't wait till Monday type of email. And that kind of gets people like, oh, like what can't wait till Monday? And if you're selling something, sending on Friday, like if you're starting your launch on Friday is a great time to start that because that's when people get paid. So,
Good point.
yes. What time should I send my email? Morning time is the best. A couple of studies have showed that 10 a.m. works the best, depending on, people being at different time zones at all the times, right? So thinking about what your ideal client, like what time are they up? Like, are they somebody that's waking up like at 5 a.m.? Are they nurses? Are they another profession? Just thinking about when they're going to be opening those emails. And then how long should I test out new strategies? 60 to 90 days. Minimum. And how many freebies should you have? Start at 1. Like, this can get super overwhelming. Like, it can get overwhelming if you're like, "Oh, I have this idea and I have this idea." Like, you want to streamline your ideas and have them so concrete that people are like, "Oh, okay, I understand where she's coming from."
Yeah.
Okay. And then refreshing your freebies really depends on what like for me, for example, I do stuff in social media. Social media is always changing. So I have to refresh pretty often. But if you're doing something that's a standard of care, then you're not going to have to redo them and pretty often unless you do like a rebrand or something. So a lot of the times it's evergreen content, meaning that it's going to last for a while. And then if anybody's ever seen tag on their email, this is something that's useful when selling offers. You can add tags to certain people. So, for example, I'm part of an affiliate for a lawyer, and I actually tag anytime I talk about like law or being, I guess, being legal in your business. Then I'll like tag that wording, and then when they click on it, or when they click on it, then it automatically tags them so that I know that they're interested in that. So then when when there's like a flash sale or something, I can like make sure to send it to those people. So it's just all about getting really, really specific about what it is who it is you're talking to. Okay, that was a lot, guys. Are we still here?
That was a whew. Yeah. People are hanging. That was amazing. So much helpful information. I know the one Facebook user, I'm thinking you're the same Facebook user, but I don't know for sure, that we've been chatting with along the way of the whole presentation, but talking about basically like how to find or hire someone that can sort of help them with all of this stuff, including like looking at their business, how to implement it, how much,
So I think that if you're somebody that has a lot of ideas and you're like, okay, I have all these ideas, but I don't really know how to implement them or create a strategy, then you would need like a business coach like me, business strategist, somebody that would help you set everything up. It just all depends. You can definitely DM me on the gram and we can chat about what your needs are. But most of the time it would be somebody that's a business strategist or a business coach to really like streamline your ideas, especially when you have a lot of them, and kind of give you a strategy to go.
Yeah, definitely some coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like hiring a virtual assistant or someone to help with some of the implementation, you can potentially do like Fiverr and things like that, Attaliah or other virtual assistant.
Yes, yeah, you can definitely do Fiverr. I would definitely look at reviews if you're somebody that's looking into Fiverr for different people. If you're somebody that has a podcast, I have someone on Fiverr. But just depending on what it is that you're working on. Someone said, do you fill out and design your own tripwire, pop-up emails, media, or does an assistant do that? So from the very beginning, I did everything. I always say to do everything yourself first. And then once you do it yourself, then you realize how long it takes. Then you know how much money you can spend on it. So my first 2 episodes on my podcast, I edited them myself. And it was torture. And it took me like literal 8 hours. And after it took me that long, I was like, nope, I'm good. I'm not doing this. And so I ended up doing them. I ended up like literally once I finished half of the second one, I was like, okay, this is it. Like I've spent 8 hours on it. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, nope, I can't do it. So now I just record and then I send it off and it comes back done. So,
and it's beautiful.
But a lot of the stuff I do myself first, just because, I mean, sometimes you'll find somebody and then they'll overcharge you for something that's so simple.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but yeah, like Attaliah said, if you DM her, she probably has some good recommendations. If you DM her on Instagram, I put up your Instagram link in the banner, and then it's attaliahstrubel.com if you want to go to her website.
Yes, my website is attaliahstrubel.com. And then if you're somebody that's like, okay, like I love the email idea, but it's like overwhelming. My team and we do done for you email marketing services too. So you can also hit me up for that. Any other questions?
I think we are. Oh, she's sending. Okay.
Okay.
She's already on your website, or I'm assuming it's a she. The Facebook user is already on your website and sending you a DM.
Perfect.
Attaliah, thank you for coming. That was amazing.
Thank
Everybody,
you.
feel free to contact me too on any of the Nursepreneurs platforms if you want to get a hold of Attaliah and you can't remember how to do it. But we will probably be joining you guys again soon to talk more about whatever the next topic is that makes sense to do after email strategy.
Yes, for sure.
Thanks for coming, everybody.